name is Cheryl Russo. I'm a certified personal trainer and group fitness instructor, and I'm also a certified yoga instructor. Today I am going to share with you the one and only exercise that you need to tone up the legs and firm up that butt. No equipment is necessary. You could use a chair only for stability if you need one. And I'm going to show you 7 different variations of this particular move in case you get bored or you want to change things up. The first thing, it is called a lunge. You're going to have one leg out in front and the other leg out in back. Be mindful, both the legs are staying hip distance apart. You want this for stability. You don't want to have one in front of the next, like a heel-toe type of a thing, because that way it's hard to bounce. You're like, think of yourself on a tightrope or a balance beam. But once those legs remain hip distance, you have that nice base of stability. So keeping those legs hip distance, maybe even a little bit wider, you're going to step forward with one leg. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. You want to make sure that your legs are far enough away, again, for that base of stability. So kind of think like a pyramid. You have that wide base, you go up to the top, and that keeps you stable. A lot of people, they want to bring the legs in. They feel the closer they are to the body like this, the better it is. It's easier for them, when in actuality it's harder. It's very hard to keep yourself stable, and your knee will tend to float in front of the toe, and that will cause a lot of knee pain and too much stress on the knees. So as I said, you want to have one foot in front and one foot behind. Roll the shoulders back, slide them down the rib cage to engage the core. The back leg, the heel will be lifted of the back leg, and the knee is going to be directly over the heel of the front leg, making sure not to shift the weight and placing the knee past the toe. You want to keep it above that heel. Drawing the belly button in to engage this core. The reason I love this move so much is because not only is it working all parts of the legs, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the glutes, the calves, but because you're doing one leg in front of the next, it's causing a little bit of instability, and that instability will engage the core muscles. So it's a bonus. I like these big bang buck for the moves. You get to do the legs and you get to do the core. The other really great advantage of doing this type of move as opposed to a squat where both legs are together working at the same time is that you're working unilaterally. You're working one side and then the other. Everybody has a stronger side and a weaker side, and this will help to balance it out. It's always good to have that body balance. It will even out the muscles and make both sides equally as strong. Going back, the leg is out, roll the shoulders back and down, chest is nice and lifted, tailbone goes down, and you just lower straight down. Lower down, press through the heel, and lift up. Use your breath to help you through the move. Inhale when you lower, exhale when you push up. Inhale when you lower, exhale when you push up. Ideally, you want to try to get that back shin parallel to the ground. So it's a right angle and a right angle, rolling the shoulders back and press up. Common mistakes, people lean forward. That's when you shift too much and put weight too much on the knees and go back. Or they think of it as one move. They go like this and back. When it's really a two, you go down and lift up. The chair is always here to help you if you need that for support. Eventually, if you feel fine and you have that balance, you can step away from the chair and not use that chair. And just use that core for stability. So your first level, this is what was called a split lunge. You can hear my dog in the background. It's a split lunge. You're keeping those legs exactly the way they are, and you're just traveling through the move, with or without that chair. The next level would be a reverse lunge, where you're stepping backwards with that leg. Or next option is a reverse lunge. You're stepping backwards. So you would go back and press up, and back and press up. And again, you could use that chair for stability. The reason we start with a reverse lunge as opposed to a forward lunge, which kind of in your mind, you always think, wow, you're going forward. Going in reverse would be going backwards. It's because when you step back and press through the heel and lift up, it's much easier to maintain this form. You're stepping backwards. You have a very difficult time to have that knee go past the toe when you're stepping backwards. Once you feel that you're very comfortable with that particular move, you could try going forwards. I'll go a little bit to the side, get yourself set, and you would step forward. Step forward, lower, and push off. So again, it's a 2-count move. Step forward, lower straight down, press through the heel, and move back. Step lower, go down, and move back. Step lower, lower, and move back. So now you've got the static move, you've got the reverse move, and you've got the forward move. I'm going to actually add one more move into the split lunge. It's a little bit more challenging, so I'm going to fit it in here. Even though you're split and you're holding on, you can lift that front heel. Adds a little bit more instability, and you go down and up, and it also makes the quad, the front of the thigh, work a little bit harder. But I'm going to throw that in there. Going back to the other moves. So we did reverse and we did forward. We're going to go sideways now. It is a side lunge. Always having the chair if you need it or not. A side lunge is different from a side squat in the such that a squat, both legs will be bent when you go sideways. A side lunge, this leg would stay straight like a tree trunk. This would bend, and there you have it. You're lunging sideways. The weight is back into the hips. The knee still does not extend past the toe. The chest is nice and lifted, and you press through the heel and you lift up. So that would be your side lunge. Step, lower, push through the heel and lift up. Step, lower, push through the heel and lift up. And you would do it on the other side. Step, lower, press through the heel and lift up. Step, lower, press through the heel and lift up. And again, chair is always there if you would like the chair. That gets a little bit more of the outer thigh because you're leaning back. It also gets the inner thigh of the opposite leg. The other form of a lunge would be a curtsy lunge. You would take your leg and step it back, similar to be doing a curtsy on the diagonal. Taking your hips and pressing them forward to face me, facing front, as opposed to opening them up. You're closing them off. The back heel is raised once again, and the weight is being focused on pressing through the front heel. You're getting your torso set and engaging the abs, lowering, pressing off this heel and pushing up. Lowering, press off this heel and pushing up. Lower, press off this heel and push up. And then we could go the other way, get the hips set, roll the shoulders back and down, engage the abdominals. Lower, press through this heel and lift up. Lower, press through this heel and lift up. And we'll just try one more time. Lower, press through this heel and lift up. So to recap, you would have the split lunge. You'd have the opposite of lifting up the heel. Then you would have the reverse lunge. You would have the forward lunge, the side lunge, and then the curtsy lunge. You could add this all on. I mean, there's a lot of variations. I'm just going to give you one. These are all the bases. It's called a clock lunge. So basically what you would be doing was moving your leg almost like you were following a clock. So it would be 12 o'clock and either 2 or 11, whichever way you're facing, and then 3, and then 5 or 4, and then 6, and then you bring it and swing it back for 8, and then swing it all the way back in front for 9, and then back to the top. So I will show you. Rolling the shoulders back and down. I'm going to step back a little bit. I'm going to use this leg first, going forward. So that would be 12 o'clock, pressing through the heel and push back. And then either 1 or 2. Bring it over and then press back. And then 3 and push back. 5 or 4 and push back. 6, bring it back. Bring it into the curtsy so it brings it around. And then you bring it all the way around to 9. And we're back to the center and forward. Going with the other leg. Bring it forward, push away, bring it out, maybe 11 or 2 depending what side you're on. Bring it out, it's either 9 or 3. Bring it back, it's either 4 or 5. Bring it back for 6. Around into the curtsy. And then all the way around into the curtsy, which lands us back to the front. And then you can repeat it. Now obviously there's a lot of variations. This was actually 7 complete moves. I promised you 7. And then there's all different variations after that. So if you'd like to see a little bit more advanced moves, a little bit more combos, then tune in to the next video to see where you could grow with this move. Thank you so much for joining me.